Hi everyone, it's Chelsea from Paper Octio Studio, and I know some of you have been waiting for me to do the mixed media ornaments that I promised last month. My original plan was to do a video every day, the 18th through the 24th, so that would be a week of ornaments, and that has been my plan all month. Unfortunately, there's been a death in my family, and I will be traveling, and I'm also the family person in charge of always making the program flyer that you hand out at funerals, so I need to work on that. I need to find pictures and edit them and do all that desktop publishing for the memorial service. And of course there's also Christmas and all that entails. So I will be making a video every other day, as I have been all month. So there will be 3 ornament videos between now and Christmas, and then start up with non-Christmas stuff on the 26th. So that's my plan now. I'm sorry that I didn't make 7 ornament videos. That was my plan, but these things are unexpected, and that's just how it goes. So the ornament that I'm doing is a 89-cent plastic bauble that I found at Walmart. They have them in the regular globe, and then this kind of a flattened globe, and a bulb shape like like a bulb. I don't know how else to describe it. A light bulb. So I picked up 3 of them. I will probably play with them next year because this is the only one I'm going to do of these. I'm going to try some other things from my other ornaments. And then of course I have this inside of a napkin. You know how we do napkin applique, and we always separate the pieces of napkin. So this is the 1-ply portion that I just save. Sometimes I jelly print on them. They're very thin and easy to decoupage with. So I used some wheel stamps. You could use any kind of stamps, but wheel stamps were quick, so I used those in some of my new colors of Ranger Archival ink, which is the ink that doesn't run or smear. It's permanent once it's dry. And put snowflakes all over my 1-ply napkin piece. And then now I am basically decoupaging it onto the ornament. Before I did that, I did sand it with a sanding block to kind of give it a little bit of tooth, to sand some of the shininess off of the plastic. You probably would not be able to do that as well with a glass one, but you could do this technique with a glass as well. It's just I'm so clumsy, and it's going to be on the tree, and I just thought plastic was better. Also cheaper, 89 cents. 89 cents, that's cheap. So I'm using the Liquitex matte gel medium and my brush to just kind of make sure that this napkin ply is all down all over the front side of my ornament. And then I am going to use a heat tool to dry it because I'm impatient, but I'm keeping it far away from the ornament and not letting the heat stay in one place because this is plastic and I could melt it. I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't melt it. I can't wait for things to dry. I have no patience, and I needed this video to be done. I've got so many things to do. So I went ahead and dried it, and it worked fine. I wouldn't say that I recommend that, but it did work. So, I guess this ply of plastic is pretty strong and held up to the heat of my heat tool. I melt paint. I'm just surprised it didn't do anything to it at all. I also took the top out. It's just got a little wire that you pinch together and pull out. So I removed the top before I started working on the ornament. So this actually worked extremely well, and I'm pleased with the result. So I'm not just putting one layer of the napkin. I'm overlapping and putting, probably some places might only have 1 layer, but most of the places probably end up having 2 layers of napkin over them. And each individual snowflake is not, visible, but it gives the overall idea of snowflakes in a wintry sky. When I was a child and probably to maybe age 13 or 14, my mom's very large family exchanged an ornament each year with each person, not with each person, but with each family. So all my aunts and uncles' families each got one ornament. So everyone would make 10 ornaments or so and trade them around, and my grandma got one. And so I'm used to handmade ornaments. I have a lot of them that were from that original time on my tree that belong to me now. I've inherited them. And, when I get them out and I look at them and I remember the people who made them, it's pretty cool. So it's a tradition in my family. So now I'm drawing. I've got my Pentel Graph Gear 1000 pencil with my 2B lead. And my favorite thing at Christmas, my favorite image of Christmas is snowmen. Of course, I don't live in a place where I can make a snowman. So it becomes even more fun to look at the different ones on my tree and to draw them. And earlier during November, I drew some steampunk snow people. And so this ornament is kind of a remembrance of that. That art journal page will stay in my 30 days journal. Actually I didn't make a 30 days journal, but you know what I'm saying. It's in one of my art journals. So it's not going anywhere, but I just thought it would be fun to make a Christmas ornament to remember that fun project. And also, of course, I like to have snowman ornaments. So I'm drawing a couple steampunk guys, one on either side. And then I'm using Decoart's Media Line fluid acrylic to paint them. These paints are equivalent to golden fluid acrylic. They're very highly pigmented. There's just a ton of pigment in there. They're not translucent unless it says translucent on the bottle. There are a couple colors that are, but most of them have a lot of pigment and are just I prefer the consistency of a fluid paint myself. That is a personal preference. A lot of people like heavy body paints, especially if you're painting a canvas, but I just really enjoy the fluidity of these paints. So I like these a lot, and I want to get every color they have at some point. I would love to have the golden fluid acrylics too, but they are more expensive than the Decoart ones. Just saying. They're a little bit more expensive, and you pay for what you get. I mean, a lot of people would just say, well, why don't we just use the craft acrylics? And that, for a lot of projects, the craft acrylics work great, but the artist quality ones that are a little bit more expensive are just quite a bit more quality. So to put the little face on and the buttons, I used a straight pin that you use for sewing that has a ball on the end, and I just dipped it in the paint and just dotted it on. It works really great for making little tiny dots. It's something I learned a long time ago. I don't even know when. And then I'm just continuing to paint. I did mix a little bit of that titanium white with the teal color and did some shadows on the snowman. White isn't white. It's got different colors in it. So if you make something just a flat white, it just doesn't look as good as if you put a few shadows around the edges with a light blue or a light gray. I couldn't find my Decoart's silver, so I ended up using the golden high flow fine silver that I have for these little mechanical hands that this particular guy has. But then on the other side, I just use my Posca pins. You'll see I break out the Posca pins. All the materials, the colors that I used will be in the description below. And I'm going to remember this time. My last video, I was about an hour late in putting those details in. And people noticed. I can't get away with anything. So I'll be sure to get those in before this video airs. It just takes me a little bit of time to go and search all those links, to go back to my studio, figure out what colors I used, and then go and search all the search on Amazon or other places to find all those links. It takes some time, and I got tired and didn't get it done on my last video, and then the video went live and it's like, oh no. I'll get it done, I promise. So now I'm doing the other side. This ornament is plenty big enough that I can draw on it easily. It's actually probably a little bit bigger than a normal bauble, maybe. I didn't think it was huge when I purchased it, but then when I look at it now in comparison to the other ornaments, some of the other ornaments, I have a lot of ones that are pretty large. It is bigger than I thought it was, but still a perfect size for a tree. This would also make a cute gift for someone, neighbors or whatever, if you wanted to make some ornaments and hand them out for your neighbors or your mailman or whatever. Inexpensive little fun gifts. I didn't make it in time to do the Creative Arts Collaboration gift exchange event. If I would have been able to do this a little bit quicker, I could have had a video in that hop, but oh well, you can't win them all. So still painting, using the same paints. I do end up adding a couple different colors, but mostly the same set of colors that I already had out for the other side. This one does have the little twiggy arms, and he has a little bird perched on one of his arms. And then on the other side, I do go back and paint in some little holly and berries that the one little mechanical hand is holding. So they have goggles, they have pocket watch, the one has a waistcoat, just to make them a little bit steampunky. And I continue to dry with my heat tool, like in between when I need to dry a little bit, and it still works. I'm as surprised as you are that I didn't melt the ornament. I'm glad I didn't, but it is still surprising. So this guy has a green scarf with the red stripes. The guy on the other side has a red scarf with green stripes. And a lot of those details will be put in later. I'm just getting the basic colors down with the acrylic paint. A little bit of burnt sienna for his twiggy arms. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment so I know you were here. Share it on other social media if you want to, and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know if you guys noticed, but up there at the top it says 4,000 subscribers. Woohoo! We made it! My friend insisted that it was going to be 4,000 before the end of the year, and she was right. So sometime in January we'll have another personalized giveaway like we have been at 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000. And there will be 4 things to give away for 4 lucky people. So that will be coming up in January. I have it. It won't be at the beginning of January because I will be out of town, but sometime mid-January probably we'll be doing that. Or I guess I could start the questioning process before I leave and then start making the things after. We'll just have to see. So now I have out my fine tip Posca pins, and the set doesn't include the gold and silver. It includes the black and white. So I took those out and I put the gold and silver in. So I bought those separately, the metallic gold and the metallic silver. There is a metallic set of Posca pins, but they don't have the gold and silver either. They've got all these metallics like teal and pink and pretty colors like that. Surprisingly not gold and silver. And I just have decided that Posca doesn't make a metallic copper pin, which shame on them. Copper's my favorite metallic. They should know this. So I'm adding in my details using my Posca pins, which is easy to do just because they're pins, so I don't have to make as fine lines with my paintbrush. I could, however, do it with a fine line paintbrush as well if I didn't have the pins. Posca pins write over acrylic and other surfaces really well. I started out using that size small Faber-Castell pin, but right away it started to get clogged and it wasn't writing over the surface very well. So that's the India ink versus these pins, I believe, have an acrylic in them. And they're just pretty fantastic. It also helps to have a white to cover up any places where I might have, made a little bit of a weird line or something, or not quite where I wanted it. The surface that I am coloring and painting and drawing on is a little bit bumpy, of course, because of all that napkin applique on there. So sometimes when the pen is running over it, the pen wants to jump and make a little bit of a messy spot that I don't appreciate. So then I can go back with the white and clean it up. So that's nice. If you haven't purchased these Posca pins yet, I would recommend that you get the fine point set of 15. This one only had 8, and it's nice to have all the colors, the more colors. And actually there's even a bigger set that I saw on Amazon the other day that I think has 24 colors. And I said to myself, man, how can I justify getting that one? Because it'll duplicate some of the colors I already have, but then has more colors and they're all in the fine tip, which I like. And oh yeah, I wanted it really bad, but I haven't purchased it yet. So that was where I put in the holly leaves. I thought that his little hand needed to have something in it since he was holding up his hand like that. I thought that it seemed kind of weird not to have anything in the hand. And so I put the holly leaves and berries, and then I thought to myself, oh, I should have put mistletoe because maybe he's looking for a steampunk snow girl to kiss, to do smoochies. But it was too late. I'd already put the holly. Holly's my favorite besides pine trees. I really love pine trees. You guys see me draw them in a lot of stuff. I miss them. Of course, we have the beautiful, majestic saguaro cactuses here, which are much larger than you would actually think. They're very tall, like trees. But, I miss my pine trees sometimes since I did grow up in Oregon State as a child. So there's a lot of pine trees there. So once I'm complete with all my detail work, then my finishing touch is to use some gloss medium and varnish from Liquitex. This is their glossy stuff. I sometimes put this over the top of completed canvases if I want them to be glossy. But I'm going to completely cover the ornament, sealing everything in with this glossy varnish, and then I'm going to put clear glitter all over it. And that is a really cool effect. I've had this clear glitter for literally years, probably over 10 years. But I know it still exists out there and it's not that expensive, so I'll find it for you guys and link it below. And I'm going to do that on both sides and then put the little top back in, put a ribbon tie on it, and hang it on my tree. So that's it for me, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic holiday season, and I will see you day after tomorrow. Bye-bye.